Hello and welcome to Suburban Sloth Reviews. The game in which I'll be taking my critical eye to today is that of the Xbox One exclusive Rare Replay. Instead of being a singular gaming experience, Rare Replay is a collection of games from, as the title suggests, the British gaming institution Rare. 30 games for 30 years. I won't review each individual game as this video would go on for an age, and I have things to do, honest. But look at the collection as a whole. My initial reaction to this anniversary celebratory collection is, holy crap, that's a lot of games. Games released on gaming platforms from the ZX Spectrum all the way up to the Xbox 360 and everything in between. The game opens with a Victorian Punch and Judy style puppet show featuring the mascots of Rare performing a song and dance number, showcasing the very British and Rare sense of humour, very much present in the company's catalogue of games. The almost vaudevillian aesthetic runs throughout the UI of the game, where moving through the menus of the game is a visual house of marionettes. The motivation of playing through a proportionate part of Rare's back catalogue, other than just having fun, comes in the form of unlockables, behind the scenes videos detailing the histories of their most famous games. Not for everyone for sure, but if you're a fan of Rare and the British games industry in general, it's a great addition. If that's the veg of the metaphorical gaming meal, the meat comes in the form of the games library, where the titles are organised by their release dates. Before popping in Rare Replay, I wasn't that aware of Rare's earliest games, and to be honest with you, for me not all of the early titles hold up. Sure, there's some nifty concepts like Jetpack, where you are a little spaceman trying to rebuild his spacecraft and leave the planet. However, for every jetpack you get an underworld, where I don't know what's going on there. For me, where the nostalgia comes in is in the NES games, like Slalom, Snake Rattle and Roll and Battletoads, where all these years later enjoyment still can be found. Talking about Battletoads, the arcade game is present, being somewhat simple but still a fun if shallow experience, where fun animations and interesting boss battles keep the attention. Although the notion it was created to eat quarters and 50p coins is very much apparent when playing it. A game I'd never even heard of called Cobra Triangle surprised me with its fun over-the-top gameplay, featuring a helicopter boat entering death races with a part-time job of mine cleansing. If you don't find that notion awesome, I don't think we can be friends. The representation of the SNES days is very much lacking for obvious reasons, Donkey Kong Country being very much the highlight of that generation, and Nintendo still holding the rights. But to be honest, probably like most people who bought this game, bought it for the N64 classics present. Sure, GoldenEye is missing for licensing reasons, but Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, and my personal favourite, Conker's Bad Fur Day, are all there. The games that have had HD remasters are those versions of the games, as opposed to the N64 originals. Banjo, for example. The annoying thing about that is where all the games available on disc are seamless in the transitions between games. There are some waiting times with the opening of the software. However, that's a minor quibble in an otherwise very pleasant UI. What can be said about the collection of Rare N64 platformers that hasn't been said before? They are timeless classics and worth the price of admission alone. This version of Conkers being the main reason for my purchase, as in the UK, the original Conkers cartridges can go for upwards of £100 or more, and for someone who only borrowed it from friends as a child, to own it in its original glory is fantastic. The main reason being the nostalgically fun multiplayer, with the dinosaurs and the beach being replaced in their Xbox original master for a still fun but generic deathmatch. Grab by the Ghoulies is the only representation of the Xbox generation, and while not being the most interesting of games, is entertaining enough. However, people saying Rare hasn't made a great game since the N64 have never played Viva Pinata, a game that's both fun as it is calming in equal measure, a Sue sim without microtransactions, and with a beautifully colourful aesthetic and humorous presentation. Cameo for me was an underappreciated game, being a launch title for the Xbox 360. Sure, not a masterpiece, but had enough ideas that could have been fleshed out and perfected in a potential sequel. Rare Replay is what it is, which is a celebration of a very British games company and a reminder to the naysayers of the pedigree and expansiveness of their artistry. Sure, all the games aren't classics and won't retain your attention for very long. That being said, there are some genuine masterpieces present. For less than £20 you can't complain. I can't remember there being a better collection for that price tag. If you're a Rare fan, then I'm sure you have already bought a copy. But if you're someone on the fence and have never played a Rare game before, it's worth the investment to play a part of gaming history. To those of you who think this collection only exists to keep Rare fans quiet until they create sequels to the Banjo and Conquer series of games, probably are right. That being said, do we need sequels to those games? Aside from, of course, Banjo-Tooie and Nuts and Bolts, it was a very specific time in gaming, at the birth of 3D platforming, with a group of very talented people whom have gone their separate ways away from Rare. That's not to say the people that still work at Rare aren't talented, of course they are, and it is very much apparent in the presentation of this collection. We need these talented people to do what they do best, and make a new gaming masterpiece. Here's hoping Sea of Thieves will be what we all hope it to be, a Rare classic. Thank you for watching my review. Make sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, of course. Leave a comment below and let me know what your favourite Rare game was and why. And subscribe to get more gaming content like this video up here, of me interviewing a former THQ executive. We cover a range of topics, including how THQ published Conker's Bad Fur Day in Europe. Or check out two idiots playing classic and contemporary games in our weekday gaming show, I've Never Played Space Invaders. I can guarantee you'll get sick of our voices in no time. Cheers.